I am I am so excited to invite you guys and to share the information with you guys that we're going to be sharing today about empowering women. To get started, I want you to first hear from my beautiful friend Gosha Moore, who's going to be starting off the call, and then I'll share more with you here shortly. Gosha?
Yes, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, so great to have all of you on the call. Um, we decided to start this series of calls because um, we really believe that women have so much to offer, and sometimes women find themselves in situations that they didn't plan on being. They find themselves in trouble, not because of bad intentions, but because we are overgivers, and we also are we somehow we develop this mindset of dependency, which is good in one sense, but sometimes it gets us in trouble because we take care of everybody except ourselves. And when things fall apart, sometimes in our lives, like they do, because we know that impact happens for everybody, then we are the ones in trouble. And then we become a statistic. And we just, Stacy and I, will really believe that by speaking to women and making women aware of what is possible and how to avoid these situations, we can really help them foresee what can happen and 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 change that for the future. And one person that really inspired me to do these calls, this series of calls we'll be doing, is actually the wife of a person that I think most of you know. And his name is Robert Kiyosaki. Who knows Robert Kiyosaki? Yes. So his wife, her name is Kim Kiyosaki, wrote a fabulous book titled Rich Woman. And it really shifted my mindset. Here we go. Stacy is showing it. Thank you so much.
Here it is.
Mine is still packed away somewhere in a suitcase, and I still don't know which one because we just moved. Um, but Kim Kiyosaki shared some serious statistics, and she was talking about the fact that 50% of women are single, and that 90% of women at some point in their life will have to take care of themselves financially. They will be the sole income earner. And this one was really shocking for me. After a woman goes through losing a spouse, a significant partner, a husband, either in a divorce or because of just death, the woman's level of living goes down by 74%. And it's shocking. 74%. Like, most of us can, like, could you live on 70% of what you are currently earning? Most of us, like, are right, just making the ends meet, right? Most of us have too much month at the end of the money. Imagine living at 74%. No, imagine if your income goes down by 74%.
Yeah, they would be living on 25% of their income.
Yes. Can you live on 25% of income? Another statistic from this book that was absolutely shocking for me was that like 50% of women are single. I didn't realize it. And Kim's heart, Kim Kiyosaki's heart, really is towards women. And she has not written a complicated book how to become an investment banker. She has written a book that is helping us change our mindset, our foundational mindset from, I depended on my dad when I was growing up, and now I depend on my spouse, and he's going to take care of me. and hopefully it all happens that this way. But when the impact happens for whatever reason, and the circumstances change, it's not necessarily as doing or not doing something that is getting us in trouble, but it's the mindset of who can I depend on. When we are, as women, we are brilliant, we are smart, we are so capable of doing everything we want, and definitely of taking care of ourselves. If we avoid this dependency mindset, and I'm going to ask Stacy if she can share her story. Her story is just really touching, and I think she is one of these women that Kim Kiyosaki is talking about. And then I'm going to share a little bit of my story, although I'm happily married, but the same mindset affects me too. So, Stacy.
Thank you, Gosha. Thank you for sharing that with us. And yes, I am one of the women that Kim Kiyosaki talks about in the book. And I'm going to share my story with you, but I want to start with this. As I share my story, I want to leave you with a belief that I hope you'll carry with you after this phone call today. I want you to, number one, know you can trust yourself. You can build financial independence, and you have more choices than you realize. Nobody wants to become a statistic, but that's exactly what I became. And today I'm going to briefly share my story and, more importantly, what I've learned from it with you. I want to start from where I came from, because I have a feeling many of you may have absorbed some of the same limiting beliefs that I did. And it's nobody's fault. I'm not going to blame my parents or blame my upbringing or blame my ancestors. I mean, we have beliefs that are woven into us, messages that are woven into our families, our culture, our environment, our religions, everything that we grow up in. And it's in the air that we breathe. And so I grew up in a very loving but religious, strict home. And along with many beautiful values, I also internalized beliefs that caused me to distrust myself. I was taught there was something inherently wrong with me. I was taught not to trust my heart. I was taught to question my intuition. I was taught to dismiss my emotions and just push through when my body was giving me warning signs that something was wrong. I believed serving everyone else came before taking care of myself. And looking back, I did not realize that I was being taught self abandonment. So I grew up and I did what I believed I was supposed to do. I got married young. I started a family, and I dreamt of building a beautiful life with my husband. But instead of finding a partner who shared the responsibility of providing for our family, I found myself carrying all of the financial responsibility. I was the only one that had conviction about paying bills and having savings and, providing for our kids. And I realized that if our future was going to change, I needed to do something different. So when I was pregnant with my first son, I started a home business, sharing clean, luxurious health and wellness products. And I'm going to tell you, that is one of the best decisions I've ever made. And I'm going to tell you, it started slow. I didn't have a college degree. I didn't have a huge network. I wasn't naturally confident. My first goal, y'all, was just to earn a check with a comma in it. So it was small. What would an extra 500 or $1,000 do for you? For me, it was like having the world. It was amazing. And so I did. I built to that. And then that side business became a way for me to make even more money. And as the years went by, I realized that I had 3 boys by then. I realized they were learning what a toxic marriage looked like. I learned, that I was teaching them that you can't change another person, but I could change the example that I set, and not allowing unhealthy, toxic environment to be acceptable in my life. So after years and years and years of trying, and again, The side hustle paid for all this, the counseling appointments and the doctor's appointments and trying to find a way to make things improve. And finally, I made the decision to leave. This side business gave me that choice. I was able to hire attorneys, support my children, rebuild my life. I paid my ex-husband alimony. I waived his child support. I took on all the marital debt. I literally started over. And it wasn't easy, but I rebuilt. I bought another home. I began investing. I funded a college fund for my boys. I purchased life insurance and disability insurance because I realized something important. No one else is responsible for protecting my family and my future. It's gonna, if it's gonna be, it's up to me, right? So, and I really thought I had learned my lesson. But deep down, I had one limiting belief that I had not uncovered. Deep down, I still believed that I needed a relationship to complete my life. So I remarried. That relationship ended very quickly as I discovered he had health issues and a hidden, serious prescription drug addiction, right? And he was physically abusive. I knew it was unsafe for my kids, so that one ended almost as quick as it started. But once again, I had a side business that allowed me to hire an attorney and have protocol and protection. And y'all, I mean, I was pretty set then. I had the house, I had the finances, I had protection. I was like, I'm good. I'm never going to get married again. I'm just going to raise my boys, live in peace. But I still had that feeling of, I'm not enough. I'm not enough. And then I met someone else. And he appeared to be everything I had prayed for. He spoke my language. He talked about integrity. He talked about faith. He talked about purpose. He talked about our future. He seemed generous. I mean, he was generous, compassionate, successful, giving me gifts and trips and, I mean, promising me the world, told me that I didn't have to work. He had plenty of money. I had nothing to worry about. He wanted a peaceful life. He wanted to build something together. And looking back, there's actually a name for what happened. It's called future faking. And at that time, I thought I had found my partner. So I did I trusted him. And when he proposed, I said yes. I moved 1,000 miles away from my family. I trusted everything he told me to do. He said, fire my CPA. Okay. Fire my financial advisor. Okay. Trust him with my money. Sure, I did. I replaced trusted advisors with professionals that he recommended. I reorganized my life around the future we had planned together. And then little by little, my world became smaller. Little comments would be made. Why isn't your check as big? And then, why are you going to work now? It was like, I was told to work and provide and give, even though we didn't need it. But then, if I did, I was reprimanded for not being available. And communication became a form of control. So I was criticized if I worked too much. I was criticized if I didn't work enough. I was confused. There was long periods of silence where communication was used as a weapon. I did not know what I was doing wrong. Evidence kept appearing that something wasn't right. And after years, y'all, years in the marriage, I discovered third-party energy had been in that marriage since about 3 months in. Truth was hidden, things were omitted so that I wouldn't know. And finally, I got all this evidence showing me my worst nightmare. And my intuition had known, my body had known, my mind didn't want to believe it. We even had one experience with the IRS where there was an issue because his CPA had made a mistake on my taxes. And I realized how vulnerable I had become. And I suddenly understood that I had trusted someone else with responsibilities that I should have understood for myself. And I'm telling you guys this because how many times as women do we say, oh, I don't understand, or I'm not smart enough, or that's confusing to me, or I don't do math. And we trust. And I did this. And I put myself I was fine when I met with the IRS agent by myself. No, he wasn't there. The CPA didn't bother to call and help. I did it by myself. And the IRS agent was wonderful. And he helped me and showed me our CPA's mistake and it got worked out. But I learned something. I learned that I wasn't safe. Later on, we had other financial problems with his business because an extended family member had embezzled hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the family brushed it under the rug. Y'all, I was on these accounts. I was a part of this family. Whether they want to admit it or not, I was legally married to this man, and I was jeopardizing my future. So, for the first time in my life, I realized how important it is to understand your own finances. Know what accounts your name is on. Understand your taxes. Never assume someone else is taking care of everything. And you guys, eventually, after years of trying to save this marriage, years of trying to figure it all out, I finally asked him, why did you even marry me? Like, all this bad stuff keeps happening, and this wasn't the deal. And his response was, I only married you because you were a good business decision. Said those words to me, and it shattered me. And I spent the next couple years trying to heal the marriage, but y'all, I was alone in it. And finally, 2 years ago, I was given an ultimatum in an email from my husband that said, sign away your financial rights, abandon your underage son, say goodbye to ever having a holiday with your own family, give up your home, everything you had worked for, and basically become his possession, being at his beck and call when he wanted. Or if I didn't do those things, be left with nothing. His exact words, I'm going to leave you broke and penniless. Oddly enough, that wasn't the day my life fell apart. That was the day I woke up. And I realized I didn't need him. I didn't just need freedom from the relationship. I needed freedom from the limiting beliefs that had taught me to abandon myself. And today, if I could just share just a couple pieces of advice with you, it would be this. Build a second stream of income, even if it's small. Understand your own finances. Know where your money is. Know what accounts you're on. Learn about your taxes and investments. Start investing today. Actually, start investing yesterday. It's all about time when it comes to compounding interest. I did not understand these things, but I'm figuring them out now. Never ignore your intuition. I'm not sharing my story because I believe men are bad. I have 3 men that I have raised that are incredible. I know wonderful, amazing men. I'm just telling you, you want to be able to stand on your own 2 feet because life is unpredictable. People lose jobs, people get sick, accidents happen, relationships change. Financial independence is not about expecting the worst, it's about giving yourself choices. So today, my life does not look the way that I had thought it was going to look. I'm still walking through this divorce, I'm still rebuilding, but thank God for this income that I have built. I have a roof over my head, we have food on the table, my sons are taken care of, they all have jobs, and we have a business that has carried us through the darkest seasons of our life, and we have hope for the future. So looking back, I want you guys to know my greatest deception wasn't another person. It was believing that I couldn't trust myself. So I've learned, and I'm continuing to learn to trust myself. I'm showing up for myself, and that's the greatest freedom I've ever known. And I want to leave you with the same message that I started. You can trust yourself. You can build financial independence, and you have more choices than you realize. My hindsight doesn't have to become your story. So, if my story encouraged even one person to trust themselves more, or build financial independence earlier, or realize their worth before someone else defines it for them, then this chapter of my life, even though it's been painful, it's been worth it. I know it's part of my purpose. So, Gosha, back over to you.
Thank you so much, Stacy, and her story always makes me cry. So it's yeah, I'm sure you guys sensed it too. And it sometimes it's not something bad that happens in marriage. Sometimes it's just life, impact, right? And I have a great marriage. I didn't have to go through what Stacy is going through, actually. But at one point, my husband, one day, he's very much of Indiana Jones. He travels the world and we do amazing things in our life. But one day, his back failed him and he neglected it, and he wasn't able to get out of bed for 6 months. And in most households, the main income earner is the spouse, the husband, in most households. And he, when we were going through this time, looked up at me and he said, says it's great that we can go on amazing cruises and five-star trips and just have the lifestyle that we have, but I've never appreciated your business as much as I do now, because have all the bills were dependent on my income. Right now, we would be losing our house because I cannot function. And that was the case for 6 months. And because of what happened to him, he also we were suggested that he was going to have surgery, back surgery. Well, I did some investigating, and if you know me, I was like, no, I don't think this is good enough, because only 27% of surgeries, back surgeries, when they fuse your spine, are effective. So I'm still jet lagged, you guys. I apologize if I mix my words. My brain is not quite there yet. And I thought, well, 27% is not enough for me. I don't want to go that route. So I found someone else who had a different treatment, spinal decompression, plus a naturopathic doctor, overall about $10,000 paid cash right there on the spot. And you know what? I was able to write the check, and we didn't have to worry about where the mortgage payment is going to come from, where his treatment money was going to come from. And I didn't have to worry when I was taking care of him where my check was going to come from. My business grew at that time. So yes, so you know, sometimes it's you may have great marriages, great family situations, and impact will still happen. Sometimes, unfortunately, we go through what Stacy went through. I have a friend dear friend of mine, and they had this gorgeous house, my dream house times two. And I thought, oh my gosh, she's so lucky. She didn't have to work, and they adopted a baby girl, and she was able to be the mom. And her husband, Wayne, was working in oil and gas and working long hours, but they had everything they needed. And until one day, I'm sorry to share this sad story, but he passed away at his desk at work, because he worked like 60, 70 hours a week to create this piece of heaven for them. And I did not want my family and my husband to be in that spot. And he's a very hard worker, and he can do anything. He's brilliant. But I just didn't want him to be put in the spot where he is the only income earner, and where our income depends only on exchanging hours for dollars. So because of what was brought to me, we were able to choose a different route that most women don't know that exists. And one thing that recently really touched me, and I messaged Stacy right away with this news. How many of you guys know who Mel Robbins is? You guys know Mel Robbins? If you know, nod your head. Yes, exactly. And I love her interviews. And one day she was interviewing a man. His name is David Bach. Who knows who David Bach is? He's an economist, a brilliant economist, and he wrote a series of Amazon bestsellers, New York Times bestsellers, and we'll share his books with you guys in a few minutes. But Mel Robbins was interviewing him, and he said to her, most people, most women need about $10,000 a year to change their life. Not $100,000, about $10,000 a year. And he actually pulled out this pile of money in hundreds, and it was $10,000. Well, I don't have it to show it to you right now. Stacy, if you have yours, just pull it up. But he said, who would like to? Most women don't think they have 10,000, or they don't think they can save $10,000 a year. And he said, $10,000 a year, it's only an $810 a month.
I found it.
Perfect.
You can if I do it this way, let me turn it on. Give me turn it on now. Okay.
Yes.
How much money does it take to blow $10,000 in a year a day? How much money do you have to spend a day to blow $10,000? So I'm holding a brick here of 10 grand.
Okay.
A lot of people would like this brick.
Yes.
It's $27.40 a day.
Wait a minute. $27.40 a day is 10 grand?
$10,000. Okay, now what happens, Mel, if you invest $27.40 a day? This explains compound interest. If you invest $27.40 a day, and you're in your 20s, and you do this for 40 years at a 10% rate of return, which is what the stock market has averaged for 100 years. You use that fund I told you about, the VTI fund. You have $4,424,000.
Say that again?
If you invested $27.40 a day, which comes out to $10,000 a year, in 40 years, you'd have $4,424,000.
And thank you so much, Stacy. And this inspired us so much because in our line of work, in our business, in our industry, we can make much more than that. But a lot of times women, when we meet them, they are so beaten down. They don't believe they can be a national vice president and make $20,000 a month. And you can, and we can tell you more about it. But one thing is for sure, I think we can guarantee and we are sure that even when someone comes from difficult circumstances, or maybe great circumstances, but we believe that anybody can believe in themselves enough to make $27.40 a day, the $810 a month. And that is what we are here to walk alongside other women, hold their hands, show them how to do it, not just one time, but how to create a residual income where you have a repeat income showing up in your bank account every month. So maybe $810 for me, you guys. At first I thought, what's $810? When I started this business, my first paycheck was $73.40. My second paycheck was almost $800 2 months into the business. And I thought, wow, it's such a small money. Is it even worth it for me? I was not educated about compound interest. And Stacy and I, we kind of are wishing that we could go back in time and we understood that principle. Almost $4.5 million created from investing $810 a month. How many of you wished you could go back in time and do this, right? Well, it may be too late for the compound interest to happen for us, but it's not too late to create this kind of income. And if you don't think that you need $20,000 a month, if you don't think that you need $10,000 a month, if you don't believe in yourself that you can create $5,000 extra a month part-time, believe us, you can create $810. And sometimes when I talk with women about their life and about their situations, they tell me, Gosha, it's so easy for you to say, like, oh yeah, just go and do this business. But for me, like, my self-image is this big, right? It has been destroyed for whatever happened in my life. Or, I cannot start investing because, to be honest, I don't have money to put food on a table. Or we are, eating rice and beans, right? Or my family is just really, really on a very tight budget right now for food. Sometimes we talk about health and nutrition for women. And a lot of times they tell me, I would love to take care of myself. I would love to, do a detox program. I would love to get on a really good multivitamin. That's like bare minimum. And they look me in the eyes and they're like, Gosha, I cannot afford it. So Stacy and I found a way, okay, for you to make this $810 a month repeat every month showing in your bank account. And maybe you do have to take care of your food on a table first. Maybe you need to switch to organic food and nutrition to take care of you. So our suggestion is make the first $810 to take care of you before you start investing. Get on organic food, get on really great nutrition, detoxify your body, and we'll show you how to do it as well. We'll hold your hands when you are doing it. But then sometimes when, I talk with women again and they are like, Gosha, I cannot start investing right now. Who wouldn't want to have almost $5 million 30 years from now, right? Who wouldn't want this? But I cannot start investing right now because I am in debt up to my eyeballs. I have $100,000 in debt. I have college, student debt. I have credit card debt. I have medical debt, right? Maybe I went through bankruptcy. Maybe I cannot afford the house I'm in and I'm going through foreclosure or very close to it. So what we want to suggest is make the first $810 to take care of yourself with your health and nutrition. Make the second $810 to pay off your debt. And then make the third $810 for a monthly paycheck of about $2,500 to do all three. Take care of you and your loved ones with nutrition and healthy food. Pay off your debt. You can do the debt snowball, and with $810 a month, that's a significant amount of money. You can knock that debt down. And then the third one, when those two are taken care of, you can start investing. And if it's too late for you now, maybe you are like, not in your 20s anymore. You know what? You can do this for your kids. My son is 8. And I'm thinking, if I could do $810 a month for him, his future will be taken care of. Who wouldn't want to do this for their kids and their loved ones? So Stacy and I, we just want to bring this to you. We want to tell you that there is hope, that we are normal women that had impact happen in our lives. And we know how to help other women who want to change something. Now, if your life is perfect right now and there is nothing to change and you are absolutely happy and you are like, what are these women talking about? What debt? What organic food? I don't need that. I've got what I need. I'm investing already more than that. Then this opportunity may not be for you, but you may know someone who is really struggling. And I have a dear friend who was married. Her name is Mary Jo, and she was married to one of the richest men in the United States. She lived in Chicago in like the neighborhood, the wealthiest neighborhood. And until one day, her husband changed her for a younger model, looked the same, but just, a decade younger. And Mary Jo was destroyed, completely destroyed. She moved to another city. That's where we met. We became very good friends. And she said, Gosha, you never know what is going on behind closed doors in these huge mansions. You never know. Just when you talk about this business, talk about it to everybody, because you never know what they are going through, what kind of situations. So it's either you have a lot of money, you need a plan B, and you need to have something that is yours, that you where if something happened, you have the independence and a way to take care of yourself without legal battles, because Stacy can tell you something about them. And then if you are not wealthy, you can create wealth, either for yourself or for your kids, with just as little as, according to David Bach, $810 a month. And I had mapped out a way for anybody to start this business. And the second month, just like I did, and I'm not even from this country, you guys. So if I could do this, you can do this, okay? If I have an accent and I can do this in your country, I can do this. You can do it. So we mapped up the way how anybody can start this business, and without even building huge, you can meet your basic goals. And just to finish, I'm going to repeat the statistics that the head of Federal Reserve shared in December, year and a half ago. So not 2005, December 2024. He said that within the next 2 years, average family, well, not average, every family in America will need between $1,500 to $2,000 extra in their budget, not to upgrade their house, but to keep the one that you currently have, to have enough for your mortgage payment because of inflation and because of the prices of everything. I don't know if you noticed it, but prices of everything went up like crazy. And that was the head of Federal Reserve. So I don't know if you guys are feeling it in your budgets, regardless of what your income is and how stable or how unstable your life situation is. But we just wanted to create a community of women that can, hold each other's arms, create the income, buy the bricks, something that is really doable. We can show you how to do this, and not just show you, but really be the friend and be the long-term support, the real thing in your life. So, Stacy, do you want to finish?
Yes, I just want to say thank you, Gosha. Sorry, y'all. I'm still in it. I'm still going through it. And I want you to know you do have to face some fears. You do have to change your self-talk. You do have to rearrange a few things in your schedule and get out of your comfort zone. But I want you to know you're worth it. And if I could go back in time and thank myself for saying yes to doing a side business that ended up being the thing that has been a life preserver for me right now, I wish I could do that. But I'm going to keep rebuilding. I'm going to keep building my confidence. I'm going to keep telling my story. It is hard for me to share this still because, like I said, I'm still in it. But I share this because if I can help even just one of you, it's worth it to go through it. So Gosha gave you the statistics. The numbers are there. This isn't brain surgery. Anybody can do it, and we have each other. So our next event is going to be Tuesday. It's going to be a inflammation workshop where you learn about how to get inflammation out of your body. It aligns with the same business we're talking about today. So get with the person that invited you, and they can give you information for that. And we will also be doing another one of these next month. So if you have someone that needs to hear this information, we would love to share it again for them. So thank you, Gosha. Thank you, everybody, for being on.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you so much, everybody, for being on. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.